a specific philosophy called Objectivism in particular, and why I love that philosophy. So the word philosophy might be abstract for some. That's why I wanna say that when I say philosophy, I mean the meaning of life, some guiding principles or guiding ideas, like when we make a decision, shall I do this or not? What shall I do with my life, with my time? What food shall I buy for myself, etc.? All that is philosophy. And we make those decisions based on our philosophy, whether we are aware of it or not. The fact that right now I'm walking here in this beautiful park is also a philosophical choice. I chose to come here because I know it's good for me, good for my health, and I value my health and my well-being because of my philosophical worldview. You see? So I'll explain you philosophy, what it consists of, how can we define it, and then we'll dive into the world of objectivism. Okay? So the word philosophy comes from Greek. Philo means love, and Sophia means, yeah, unstable connection. Sorry about that. Yeah, this area reminds me of Versailles a little bit when viewed from afar because of its beautiful and lush parks. I love this place. Uh, we're in Yerevan. So yes, philosophy means love of wisdom. In ancient Greek, they had several forms of love: physical love, love for your friend, love for beautiful things, erotic or sexual love, etc. So philia is one of those forms of love. Philosophy or love of wisdom, well, also one could ask, okay, what is wisdom? Yeah. So when you look it up, wisdom consists of a few aspects. One is knowledge, and another one is experience. So when you know something, uh, it's not about believing, right? It's about knowing. When you know something and you have a lot of experience with that and you have reasonable judgment, then you are wise. Yeah. So philosophy consists of several aspects or components. Now I'll give you some fancy terms, but I'll make it also simple. Okay. So the first aspect of philosophy is about reality. Yeah. And the fancy term for that is metaphysics. The word meta is beyond. Physis means nature. So metaphysics is what's beyond nature. Historically, that was the meaning, but now metaphysics just means nature or reality. So different philosophies have different answers to questions related to reality. And the basic question is reality real or not? A lot of philosophies are telling you that reality isn't real. We live in the matrix. Everything is fake. Don't believe your eyes, don't believe your judgment, etc. I love objectivism because it says reality is real or existence exists. Yeah? There is something profound in it. So existence exists. Yeah. You can be skeptical about everything, of course, and healthy amount of skepticism is welcome. Yeah, it's important. But suppose you're skeptical to a point that you don't believe your parents when they're telling you that they are your parents. Or maybe right now I'm speaking and you're listening to me and you might be believing that I'm just a computer program which has been created by the Matrix to fool you into something. That's not healthy skepticism, right? So if you're skeptical about absolutely everything, you'll turn your life into a nightmare. Yeah, into nightmare. Because you might not be sure that your food is real, your body is real, and if nothing is real, why bother? Why be serious? Why build your life? Why take it seriously? Yeah. So skepticism can be destructive if it's not healthy. Okay? So I love objectivism because it says reality is real. And of course, we can go into it. Um, for instance, if you say something is real, who says it? The person or the thing, the energy or consciousness that says nothing is real, at least they should exist to be able to judge. And if nothing is real, how can you be sure that your own statement is real itself? When you say nothing is real, your own statement and your own being is also part of that nothingness. And it's just thinking in terms of negatives, which is not constructive, which is not reasonable. And someone says, yeah, that nothing is real. Who is that voice that says nothing is real? At least that voice should be real, and that voice should be, that force that says nothing is real should be able to judge and evaluate and give opinions, right? So you see, there are so many, we could call them premises or conditions based on which one can say nothing is real. Yes, so someone is observing, someone is making that statement, yes, or that conclusion, that inference that nothing is real. So objectivism makes sense because it says no, if you say so, it means you are real at least. And moreover, if I close my eyes, this forest, yeah, this little park won't disappear, right? People will be walking, the trees will be here, etc. So objectivism states that reality doesn't reality is independent, it doesn't rely on our fears, desires, wishes, caprices, whims, etc. And it makes sense, yeah? Even if I die right now, life will go on, yeah? Forests, people, everything will go on, yeah? So that's the first branch of philosophy, metaphysics or reality. A lot of philosophies are telling you reality isn't real, don't believe your senses, don't believe your mind, believe us, but don't believe yourself. Huh? Plato, for instance, talks of a cave, and that cave is your mind, your reason. Plato says that you shouldn't believe your judgment, your eyes, your reasoning, etc., etc. And lots of philosophers, Immanuel Kant, modern philosophers, ancient philosophers, lots of religions, Christianity, Buddhism, yeah, all speak of Maya or illusion, and that there are other worlds, yeah. In Christianity, you have heaven and hell, and this reality is just very transient, meaning it just passes so fast. So they don't want you to live on this planet in this reality. They want you to obey them and trust their judgment, but not yours. So convenient. Second branch of philosophy is about knowledge. How do I know? How do we know? What should we rely on? Blind faith, knowledge, miracles, and that is called epistemology. Episteme is a Greek word again, which means knowledge. So epistemology is about knowledge. How do I know? Can I simply pray and claim that I know this because I prayed, and in my prayers it was told so. I was told so, or maybe I see a dream. I actually had professors at the Armenian Pedagogical State University. Those some of those professors would come and they would share their dreams with us, and it was so weird because they were um, nationalistic, conservative, and I grew up in a very nationalist environment. I went to university um, around um, 14 years or 16 years ago. And back in the day, Armenia was ruled by Republicans. They are conservative, religious, nationalist, ultra. They also support ultra-nationalist ideology like Garagin Nashte, who is considered to be a fascist by many, and there are documents stating that he collaborated with the Nazi regime, etc. And so, in those mindsets, epistemology or knowledge is about your beliefs, your whims, your desires. It's not about reality, it's not about science. And my professors, they had this mythological or religious mindset where dreams and revelations were more important than reality or science. And that was weird, um, kind of even creepy and dangerous. Dangerous also for the society, because this society, yeah, the Armenian society where I live, we went through genocides and we have been in war with one of our neighbors, Azerbaijan, for 3 decades. That's what nationalism and conservatism and mythological mindset, religiosity does to people. Yeah, they cut themselves off from reality. They imagine that they are invincible. Nobody can uh, win over them, and they destroy their reality. They destroy their quality of life. So I love objectivism because objectivism says that epistemology or knowledge is about science and reason. Yeah. So facts matter. And if your caprice is against facts, you should choose the second one, uh, the second category, because facts are much more reliable and much more important than just your wishes or the wishes of a few million people. Mm? The third component of philosophy is ethics. So it's about right and wrong, good and bad. For instance, I carry this bottle of water with me because I know that drinking water is good for me and for my body. Yeah, I choose facts, I choose science. I do not tell myself, oh well, I will pray and Jesus will just give me water from the sky, or Karagin Najde will just take care of my um, um, thirst. Yeah, no, I rely on facts and on reality. And this is an ethical choice. Like, is it good for me to carry this bottle and have water with me? Yes, it is. It's good for my body. So that's why I do it. You see? All the choices that we make in our daily lives are philosophical. We use philosophy. It can be constructive, it can be destructive. Your philosophy can be altruistic, meaning that you care about others more than about yourself, or your philosophy can be selfish in a positive way. Selfishness doesn't have to mean something negative. In objectivism, selfishness is good and important, rational selfishness. And altruism is destructive, yeah, because you are ready to sacrifice yourself for others, and that makes you very vulnerable, uh, Others can manipulate by you because of your desire to sacrifice yourself for themselves, you see. So ethics, and in um, objectivism, ethics starts in the following way. First, you ask yourself, what is the most valuable thing? What enables everything else? And in objectivism, the answer is my own life. I have to be alive in order to be able to think, reflect, desire, fear, wish, do, etc. And when I just say it this way, it kind of seems obvious, right? But it isn't. And Ayn Rand did a great job with her profound analysis, with her thoughts. She has fiction books like Atlas Shrugged, The Fountainhead, and she has non-fiction books about objectivism, about her philosophy, about capitalism. And yeah, like duh, yeah, you have to be alive in order to experience things, in order to believe into something, or to choose science as your guiding principle, or your absolute, yeah. And then in objectivism, we discover that after life, the most important thing is our reason. Like, for instance, maybe I believe into something, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, the spirit of my ancestors, the invisible flying spaghetti monster, etc. And I decide to eat some grass or the roots of this plant, and I tell myself, well, Jesus will save me from any harm. And there are people, even in the 21st century, who do that. There are, in fact, pastors, like in Africa, those crazy stories are still circulating. Christian pastors, which one of those pastors, for instance, made his followership eat grass. Like, just Google it. Pastor makes his followers eat grass. And naturally, some people ended up in hospitals. And it's not the only story. Another Christian pastor made their followers drink some poison. I think it was against mice. And he was like, believe into Christ and drink, and thou shalt not be harmed. And of course, people ended up in hospitals. Girl, right? So, your reason is more important than your desires, your beliefs, your religion. If your reason tells you, okay, this metal is red, it's hot, it means I shouldn't touch it. Follow your reason. Lives possible. Yes, sorry again, bad connection. So reason enables us to maintain our lives and make the quality of our lives better. Yeah, like, okay, what shall I do to make the quality of my life better? If I simply pray, will that help? For instance, if I pray, will I get new clothes? Well, normally it doesn't work that way. Yeah, I need to earn money, and I need to do it in an honest way so that I'm not arrested, so that I don't cheat and others don't cheat on me, or they don't fool me. So all those things are reasonable. I need to have social media, for instance. I need to make lives such as this to advertise myself, to get new students whom I teach English, French, Hebrew, philosophy, sexuality, etc. So you see, reason is the only absolute in objectivism, because through reason we maintain our lives. Like, if I see a snake, my brain goes, okay, this is a snake. There are a lot of venomous snakes, and this one might be dangerous, so I'll stay away from it. These are all thoughts, yeah, mental and reasonable processes. And if I disregard reason, I can go like, oh, Jesus is with me, praised be the Lord, I'm protected, and I might just even approach the snake or disregard the presence of the snake, and that could put me into peril. Yeah. So reason is the only absolute in objectivism. You need to always reason. I love objectivism because it says always you should analyze for yourself. For instance, sacrifice is not welcome in objectivism, but if you decide to sacrifice yourself for others based on your mental processes, if that is a conscious decision, objectivism can be okay with that. For instance, maybe you live in a capitalist society and you are surrounded by socialists who try to destroy your way of life, and you understand that there is no need to run away because socialism is everywhere, and if you run away, capitalism may turn you into a slave somewhere else, or socialists can kill you in a socialist country. You may decide to stay and fight and even die for capitalism, right? So you should always analyze, yeah? And although your life is the most important thing for you, yeah, it enables everything else. If you consciously choose to put your life at risk, then that's okay, because it's a conscious choice. Yeah, it's not state propaganda or something like that. And in fact, in Ayn Rand's novels, we see such instances and such heroes. In Atlas Shrugged, Dagny Taggart, she risks her life, and there are other heroes who do that, yeah, because they choose to do so. The fourth component of philosophy is politics. Polis is a Greek word which means a city-state. In ancient Greece, before states, big states were created, we had small city-states like Athens, Sparta, and there were other city-states, and these were called polises. Yeah, polis. So politics is about our social life. Ethics is your personal choices, like shall I take water or not? Shall I take care of my body or not? These are ethical decisions, and these are about yourself. Yeah. Politics, on the other hand, is about your community life. For instance, people came together and they were like, okay, let's build this park, yeah, and let's use money from our city budget. So this is politics, yeah, and policy in general. So politics is about our social life, and I love objectivism because objectivism endorses and promotes and propagates free market capitalism. And that's also political. Yes, that's about economy, that's about politics, that's about the freedom of the individual. As a private English and English teacher and coach, I choose how many students I shall have, when shall I start my lessons, at what time, how much should I charge every student, etc. So that's my freedom. And I do that thanks to capitalism and thanks to free market capitalism. In socialism, They can regulate everything. They can even criminalize. For instance, if I charge, let's say, $30 per hour as an English teacher, someone may complain to the state, and the state may come after me and tell me that that's too high. We are imprisoning you because we said that as an individual English teacher, as a private teacher, tutor, and coach, you have no right to charge more than $25 per hour. And situations like this happened in Sweden, for instance, where socialism was rampant in the 20th century, just like across the globe. There is a famous writer, Astrid Lindgren. She even wrote a story, I think it was called Pempariposa in Monismania, if I'm not mistaken, about a girl who travels into a weird kingdom. She wrote this story because as an independent writer, she had to pay uh, a whole lot of taxes to the government. And apart from her story, there was a movie maker, Bergman was his last name. He was even detained by the authorities in Sweden because they believed that he evaded paying taxes. He was detained, or one of the actresses was detained for more than 6 hours, I believe, because they believed she knew about his tax evasion stories. So Bergman ended up with clinical depression, and he moved away from Sweden after this story. So this is what socialism and communism can do to you. And I love free market capitalism, and I love objectivism for these reasons, you see. After politics, the fifth and the last component of philosophy is aesthetics. It's about the sense of beauty. What is beautiful? What should art like be? Why art should exist? So there are different perspectives on aesthetics, naturally, and objectivism says that aesthetics should be about uplifting the human spirit and showing the man what he or she can become, what humans can achieve. That is objectivist aesthetics. And Ayn Rand has a lecture where she gives us this interesting example. Now, she lived in the 20th century, yeah, and her example was very relevant in her time. She says, imagine there's a village where you have only one cinema, and the inhabitants of that village are cut off from the external world. Well, they don't travel, they just grow their food. Um, Life was like that, yes, 100 years ago. So, and imagine what will be with those people if they see only violence, only maybe soaps, I don't know, Brazilian soaps or terrible Russian soaps full of domestic violence, jealousy, cases of, I don't know, crime, etc., etc. People will believe, oh, the external world is terrible, it's dangerous, no need to try to strive for anything in life because life is shit. Yeah, life is very bad. And imagine what if in that same cinema people are shown uh, skyscrapers. They are introduced to the works of Leonardo da Vinci and Marie Curie. Yeah, what women scientists can do, what human mind can achieve. Of course, their mindset will be totally different. Yeah, and they won't say the world is just crap and I need to avoid it. They will be like, oh, the world is a beautiful place and I can become part of that beauty. I can create, yeah, I can draw, I can fly with a parachute, I can become a scientist, etc., etc. So I love objectivism also because of this, because objectivist aesthetics is about uplifting the human spirit, is about showing people what they can become and what they can do. So right now I have 4 people who are following this live. I'll start a poll, guys. I'll ask you the following question. Do you like Ayn Rand and objectivism? So you can vote now. You have 2 options. Yes, no. I'll add the third option. Uh, I'm not sure. If you don't know Ayn Rand, you can choose the third option. I'm not sure. Yeah? So, yes, the poll is there. You can click on it on the lower part of the screen and you can vote. Okay? Do you like Ayn Rand and objectivism? And also leave your comments even after the live is over. Yeah? You can answer this question in the comments section. Just tell me, do you like Ayn Rand? Do you like the philosophy of objectivism? Do you even know her? Or would you like to learn more about objectivism and about her works, etc.? So I'll give you like 30 seconds before I finish the poll and this live. Okay? And if you would like to improve your English or learn French, beginner Hebrew, learn more about philosophy or sexuality, feel free to reach out. I'm a freelance teacher. I have been teaching English and other subjects for over 12 years altogether, like English for 9 years. But before that, I was a trainer. I trained people on tolerance, sexuality, LGBTQ issues, etc. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for being with me. And see you next time. High five. Have a good one. Bye.